from grade 7. So today we're going to talk about computer language translators. But however, before we begin, we have to know what's a source code and an object code. So a source code is the set of instructions written in any language other than the machine language is called as a source code. Okay, it is not directly understood by the computer. Okay, so it's any language or any instructions that is written other than in the machine language or the language that the computer understands. That's source code. Okay, while when it comes to object code, the set of instructions written in machine language is called as object code, which is also known as machine code. It is the only code which is directly understood by the machine. So a source code is a language or an instruction that is written or made that the computer does not understand. So it's a language that the computer does not directly understand, or the machine, right? And that is called the source code. The source code. While for the object code, it is a code of set of instructions written in the machine language is called the object code. So it is a language that the machine directly understands, the computer directly understands. An example of the source code in simple terms is that it is in the form of text. Okay, it is human readable as well as generated by human, the programmers. It is the input to the language translator. While for the object code, it is in the form of binary numbers. It is a machine readable. Okay, the computer understands and interprets that language, that code. However, humans cannot. Okay, and it is generated by the translator. It is the output of the language translator. So for the source code, it is the input where humans can read the code and they input it to the computer, while the computer cannot or the machine cannot. But however, if it's translated it becomes the object code, which is the output of the language translator, which is the machine readable. The machine can understand and interpret it. So we have explained and understand the source code and as well as the object code. Now we're going to talk about the language translators, the computer language translator. So when it comes to the computer language translator, it's just like imagine how you and your friend, let's say, are speaking two different languages. So you have one of your friends speaks English, the other one speaks Hindi, right? There is no common ground between you two, right? Because there is no common language between you two. You understand English and the other one understands Hindi. So you both want to understand each other. So similarly, when it comes to language translator, right, a computer language translator, we're talking about where the computer and the human or the programmer can understand each other at a common ground. So there are three. A language translator is a program that converts the source code into the object code. Okay, so the source code, which is the human readable, and also it is the input, right? The input language that allows us to put into the computer and make it into the output language translator, which is the object code. So from the source code to the translator, which converts it right to the computer language, which the machine will understand. And then, while language translators, computers only understand object code, which is the machine code. It does not understand any source code. There must be a program that converts source code into the object code so that the computer can understand it. The language translator is one which does this job. The programmer writes the source code and then translator converts it in machine readable format, which is the object code. Now we have three types of language translators. The first one is the assembler, the second is the compiler, and then the third is the interpreter. So let's explain them one by one. The first we have is the assembler. Now what is the assembler? Assembler is the language translator that converts assembly language code into the object code, which is the machine code. And then the compiler is the language translator that converts high-level language code into the object code, machine code. It converts the whole code at one time. So if you if you were with us, you will remember that we learned about the computer language, right? We had 5 stages of computer language, from generation 1, from machine language first generation to the second generation, third generation, and fourth and fifth generation computer language. Now when it comes to the compiler, it is one that converts all of the code at once, so the entire code will be compiled at one. Between the assembler and the compiler is like saying you have 2 people that work at a restaurant. You have Rachel and you have Rose. So Rachel, she takes the order of the people in the restaurant all at once. She notes them down, okay, and then she goes to the chef, and then she gives the chef the list, and then when she comes back, she takes all of the order and gives them at once. That's Rachel's way of taking order. And then we have Rose. Now Rose, when he takes his orders, he notes them down, and he takes it to the chef. Now when he comes to take it to the people, he gives the order one by one. So for example, in his notebook, he noted down pizza, burger, and chicken, right, for Rose. Now when he goes, he just takes the pizza, and then after he takes the pizza, he gives it to the person that ordered the pizza. Now he has executed that, and then he goes back and then takes the burger, and then gives it to the person that ordered the pizza. So one at a time for him. While for the compiler, which is Rachel, she gives it all at one time. She gives the whole order at a time. So that's the difference between a compiler and an assembler. So like I gave the example, so in this term you can say that Rachel is the compiler and Rose is the assembler. Okay, now when it comes to the compiler, as we can see here, the program, for an example, line 1 instruction 1, line 2 instruction 2, line 3 instruction 3, line 4 instruction 4, line 5 instruction 5, right? Now you read the whole program, right? You list it down. Now then convert the whole program into object code. Okay, once you have converted to object code, then it executes it. It gives you the entire program. That's for compiler. And then when it comes to interpreter, is the language translator that converts high-level language. Now if you remember, in our previous lessons we learned about the computer language, right? Now the high-level language is the AI language, which is the artificial intelligent language code, okay, that converts that high-level language code into the object code, which is the language that the machine understands. Now once it converts the code line by line, that's for the interpreter. It converts the code line by line. For interpreter, you have, for an example, line 1 instruction 1, line 2 instruction 2, line 3 instruction 3, line 4 instruction 4, and then it goes all the way to line 5, and then it converts each line. Once it converts line 1, it's executed, then it goes to line 2 and then execute line 2. Goes after it finish line 2, it executes line 3. So it goes line by line and executes the whole program. Now the difference between a compiler and interpreter: the compiler converts a whole code at a time. Like I said, it is faster, right, and requires more memory. Errors are displayed after entire program is checked. An example of compilers are C, C++, and Java. Those are examples of compilers. When it comes to interpreters, it converts the code line by line, and it is slower, right, and requires less memory. Errors are displayed for every instruction interpreted, if any. And the example of interpreter we have is GW Basic, Ruby, and Python.